Hi, I'm Tim Stokes, a business growth specialist, and I'm talking to Chris Scooter of Interact Global, a psychometric assessment providing company with offices in Brisbane, Sydney, South Africa, and the UK. How are you today, Chris?
I'm very good, thanks, Tim. And yourself?
I am excellent. And today I thought we'd talk about one of the hardest decisions you can make in business, or one of the most challenging, and that is hiring new employees. And can you tell me a little bit about your profiling tools that you provide and what they are, and as a bit of a summary?
Oh, indeed, Tim. Yes, the three most important psychometric assessments that companies use today are firstly emotional intelligence, which tells us how people will react, and it's the below the surface emotional reactions people will have when they're in a job. Then you have personal profiling assessments, which looks at the values of a person, and that is why they will come to work. And then you have interdisc, which is looking at the behavior of people, and that is how they will perform in work. And those three forms the major part of assessments. But Tim, you're the most expert in DISC, and you have been using it quite substantially in making a success or helping businesses to be successful. What's your experience with it?
I've loved this ever since I first saw it about 25 years ago. I've kind of profiled every person I met almost initially. It's like coming over to see me. Why are you sitting there? Would you like a tea or a coffee? Good. Can you fill this in while you're there? And let's find out what your disc profile is. So that's how I started with it. So from a practical experience. And then every business I've worked with for 25 years, almost the first thing I do is say, let's find out what your disc profile is. And that helps me to understand them, and helps me to understand how to lead them. So disc profiles are a phenomenal tool for helping you to understand how to lead a person their ideal way instead of leading it the way you lead everyone. It helps in that role. It helps with understanding strengths and weaknesses in behaviors, like blind spots, you could say, where certain aspects are emphasized, they focus on, they get better at, and sort of blind spots where they're not focusing so much. It helps in aptitudes, so having employees suited for an ideal role, so round pegs in the round holes, they say. It helps with sales, helps with learning how to build rapport with people very quickly, even on the phone, when you can pick a person's profile within seconds, when you get really good at it. And then you learn how not to annoy people, because one of the biggest things to overcome in sales is you don't like the person you're buying from. And that hinders a lot of sales and a lot of businesses. So it helps in that arena as well. And it helps with understanding suitability for leadership roles, supervisory management positions, and things like that. As the business grows, it helps you to figure out who's a great fit for those sort of roles. So I use it in so many different areas, and it's the most commented on topic of all with my clients. I could work with them for many months, and when I say, what's the best thing you learned from me, they always say disc profile. 9 out of 10 people say disc profiles. It's so far in front of just about everything else that comes second. So it's quite amazing what impact it has. So yeah, so there's a lot of places I use it. I think it's a life skill to learn disc profiles. It's not just a business skill, it's a life skill, because it becomes very handy to know where people are coming from. And yeah, I think it's all around got a lot of merit. And it's probably equal now in my preference of tools of yours that you provide with EQ now. I'm getting extremely fascinated with EQ. So why don't we talk about EQ in the next video, Chris, and have a bit of a chat about that and its applications. And thanks for joining me for this short talk. And people, if you're watching this and you've liked it, make a comment or share it with someone, and tune in for our next video. So thanks, Chris. It's been good talking to you.
Oh, great pleasure. Thanks, Tim.